HBO Sports. When he must take on a challenge unlike any before. When he must face an opponent who is larger, younger, faster, or more experienced. From his Olympic victory and pro debut, through his tribulations, 15 knockouts, De La Hoya has the potential to be one of boxing's best. But do his skills match his record? Wheel lightweight champion, John Molina. That punch, James Toney, half years. Toney with his elusive style match, but fought more frequently than any other reigning champion.
Great performance by James Toney.
Wait, after suffering the only loss of his professional career, Toney now moves up to the next division. Can he overcome defeat and be effective as a light heavyweight? We'll shortly see when he faces the moment of truth. Tonight, live from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, HBO Sports presents a doubleheader at a light heavyweight against Montell Griffin. And then Oscar De La Hoya for 12 rounds. The MGM as the place where George Foreman knocked out Michael Moorer to take the heavyweight championship of the world. Another lively crowd on back from the first loss of his 47-fight career and moving up in weight to do it. Working with us, HBO boxing analyst Larry Murd of the two fights. First, we're going to have Toney against Griffin. Then it will be Oscar De La Hoya in the Lena. Everybody in the sport saying this is a huge moment for De La Hoya. Is it really all that big a fight for him?
No, Jim. I think it's actually bigger. Oscar De La Hoya has had 16 professional championship fights, more championship rounds, many more champions. There's no one in the lightweight divisions who apparently is out there that's well on his way to being the kind of star who goes above the title of the movie on the marquee. So this big leap is not only big for...
And coincidentally, you and I rub shoulders with the man who ranks right now as the biggest appeal, George Foreman, who won the heavyweight championship in this arena just a few months. Grading set to with his manager, in which he reportedly threatened to kill her. How does he come back from all?
He's got to just focus on who he is and go out there and do it. And he can do it. Not only that, we're going to see him as a middleweight, right? Well, as you get to be champ of the world, and they're going to have to learn how to compensate. Go down a notch without moving your ego in it.
Toney gets ready to enter the ring and to the ring. It has kept them in the headlines in a way. Last November, undefeated, two-time champion, one of the best fighters pound for pound with the first loss of his career.
Super middleweight champion of the world, Jones Jr.
2 days after the loss, James Toney stormed after she suggested he could take a rematch with Jones at 168 pounds to make, leaving him somewhere less than his best.
Right there.
Then Toney was told Callan had worried during the fight about a proposed moment on his beating Jones. Toney concluded Callan's only concern was the money.
I wanted him to be motivated. You know, I wanted him to realize we had a real big deal sitting on the table, a very large one. Actually, it was the largest deal that's ever been offered to anybody other than a heavyweight. You want out of any career you choose is that he's got to win or that deal's out the window.
That was totally uncalled for. Yeah, I lost a lot of...
Act of violence.
Detroit boxing manager
she says
Jackie
she believes for help. James Toney's mother called to say...
Leaves no doubt his business circumstances have changed.
Right now I'm the boss. I'm in control of everything.
For now, James Toney is still managed by Jackie Callan, but her contract...
What I've always done for James, and then when July comes, you know, we'll sit down and we'll talk and we'll see where his head is at and his heart, where his career is at. Because I don't really believe anybody else could do a better job for him or care more about him than I have. And I really work.
So I ain't trusting nobody. I just got to do what I got to do. You know, I got this attitude. I don't care. And, you know, I'm going back to my old stuff, how I used to be when everybody who claimed they would care about us, but then stab you in the back. big-ass knife.
To present an image of solidarity, walked into a news conference a couple of days holding hands. No word about what happens in July, but for the moment is back together. You think we've heard the last of this, Larry?
I doubt it, Jim. Jackie herself reminded me that it was Ernest Hemingway who said, never fall in love with a fighter. One way
for this light heavyweight battle, and you'll see that James Toney enters the ring having made it easy for him. He has a 4-inch height advantage over the unusually short 5'7", a little bit extended.
Griffin is trying. You see,
good hard right-hand body shot by James Toney. And Griffin lands the left.
We're going to the middleweight with that much power in the light heavyweight.
Of course, he thinks for 3 years he wasn't a middleweight. For 3 years he was a light heavyweight, starving himself to fight as a middleweight. That's the way he sees it. Toney's hard punches for 8 rounds of this fight.
Toney had no idea that Griffin would be that tough.
Break out clean, break out clean, break out.
Yeah, I'm not sure Montell coming up in weight class.
Griffin hasn't gone down, but he sure is.
Let's take over the fight, son.
Take over, baby. You can hurt it whenever you want.
Look here. When you just step to the left and shoot the left hook, tell me, okay, Pop. Jab, step to the left, pop that hook.
On the inside, you've got to work. And you can't come out standing up straight. You've got to come down low. Get the towel, and to the right. All right. Go up to your right.
Well, let's see if Toney can give Bill Miller that right hand down the pipe he's looking for.
Come on, work out now.
Toney.
Good.
Much Toney's punches hurt, but Griffin's trunks are beginning to unravel, sequin by.
Well, that helps to set up the narrative for the second fight, in which Oscar De La
All those little punches that don't hurt you. You got to be concerned.
showed a much higher punch output.
You find yourself saying, this hurt this guy. I've hurt him again. And not understanding that the little find himself in big trouble waiting around for a decision.
Crowd comes alive again. Griffin's blood on Toney.
If you could just take it a little straighter, just a little straighter.
At will with that left hook, George, as James Toney keeps his right hand down.
No, you're in great shape. This motherfucker can't do nothing with you.
I got to have it.
Shoot yourself, baby. Don't shoot yourself.
Come on. Come on. We need all of these. We need every round to come in.
James, you got a chance. Step left and come back with a power left hook.
All right, let's go.
Case through his last 3 fights as a super middleweight.
To give the judges something.
To try to keep James off of it.
Toney's got a small cut underneath his eye also. Got to be a little concerned about it.
Again for a moment, or at least thinks he did.
He's got to understand that Griffin is not looking for any telltale signs that I hurt you.
Every rounds and then waiting to hear what the judges have to say.
There's that left hook by Griffin.
Get him out of there. Come on, get him out.
Toney should keep his right hand.
An aggressive Montell Griffin stepping forward in the middle of round 10. Toney seemingly a little unsure in this round, George, as to exactly what it is he wants to do.
That's right. He's done everything he's wanted to do previously. Now it's a matter of what am I going to do different? Whoa, did that...
He's a well-conditioned fighter. Him, after the Olympics in '92, when Jackie was interested in signing Montell Griffin to a contract, spent a couple days there, sparred with Toney and said, I didn't like that.
With that thing on the back of your neck, they want you to keep fighting back. Makes the punches more effective.
The fight to score. It will be fascinating to see. when last we looked, our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman, had Griffin.
He's been hit with some tough shots.
My second win now.
Okay, all right. He's trying to get some air.
Very close, 6-4, 95 men to take the lead in the championship rounds. I think he's turning it on a little, and I think the heavy arms of Montell Griffin is on the show.
They go into round 11. Second time past the 10th round for Montell Griffin. For James Toney, it's the 11th 10 rounds.
And he's constantly throwing that right uppercut to the body. That could be trouble for Toney.
One stat numbers through 10 rounds. Toney throwing 131 more punches than Griffin, but Griffin landing just as many as James. So he has the...
First time all night that he...
5 minutes of fighting. Activity level picking up just a little bit now. Let's see how hard Toney tries to take this out of the 4.5 minutes of the fight.
Break out clean. Okay, let's go. Break out clean. Step back.
George has a former two-time world champion. Will James...
And they know exactly what he's doing.
Toney's left guard closing just a little bit. After a pretty active first 2 minutes in round 11.
Body punch and trade, he wants a knockout. To your right hand, now he's throwing a jab, and he goes... Left uppercut, right hand is what it's going to take. Not a left jab and right.
Of this round.
Great man to win this fight. We need it. Don't blow your nose. We got to have this last round.
You want this fight, man? Listen, you want this fight, you can take it, okay? But you got to be smart. Don't give him nothing. Box the guy. Touch him up. You know what I'm saying? Don't let him get nothing. You
fight. Give him home. Let him have. All right, here, let him have. Give me prisoners.
That experience may be evident here. It's the 48th pro.
If I'm Griffin, I'll hit and hope.
And if you're Toney?
Hey, keep it every now and then, but don't go trying to finish him and give him a chance to get a flip.
And it gives Griffin a clear picture of what Toney... Good left hook inside by Toney.
Come on, give me a clean round, guys. Give me a clean round.
Griffin pushes James away, and now will fire the jab from time to time.
Hurt. It was high on top of the head. Right hand if Toney wants to catch him. You can't just...
To do. It took him to the Olympics in '92. It's Toney tonight. For Toney, what's at stake? It's of a devastating loss to Roy Jones, one of the best in the world.
All right, break up. Come on, punch the guy there.
And you never count out James's chance to score the knockout. Remember, he knocked out Prince Charles Williams in this ring last summer.
I would have told him to do. You make it 12 rounds, be famous.
coming down the stretch like a thoroughbred here. If he needs this round to win the fight, he appears to be winning it.
Yeah, I think Griffin just sort of ran in the last two rounds.
Griffin looked up to the clock. He want to know how much time he's got. I love you a lot, man.
It's 7 rounds to 5, 114, 112, James Toney. Montell Griffin definitely deserved the 10-8. In the 8th, the 7th, pardon me. But I thought James Toney did enough punching that this fight may be a split decision.
So your instinct is to look for a split decision, and I can see promoter Bob Arum to try to get a look at the cards. And now let's go to Michael Buffer to find out who won the fight.
Go to the scorecards. It's even. Bill Graham scores the bout 115 to 113, and Art Lurie scores it 116 to 112 for the win.
Well, there you have it. A monumental step forward in the development. Toney and Larry.
James, your feelings about the scoring?
I thought I wanted judges to see it my way, so he got this, just the judges, I got a bad decision.
Was he a hard guy to fight because of his...
Hey, I didn't get the decision late. Oh, I'll be back. No problem.
Are you in shock?
I had to got beat.
I'm in shock. I'm amazed.
Thank you, James. Jim?
You in shock, George?
More than anything than words could ever mention. Shocked.
So you think this is a highly questionable decision?
It's really a blow to a wonderful sport. It's a blow to a wonderful night. I don't know how it happened.
But, George, it's a relatively close fight. I mean, the guy is in the fight all the way in the eyes of most. You heard how Harold scored it. I think that you'd be in a small minority in saying that James...
Montell Williams won that fight. Cows lay eggs.
All right, what is it?
Things have happened, as Howard Cosell, James Toney even helped him up a few times, trying to seek a knockout. What are you going to give him? Aggression? No, I'm not buying that. Look, I buy cheeseburgers, but
against such a high...
So, I'm not surprised, I thought I'll box him. I didn't know when they said the first judge scored it a draw, I was like, oh, my goodness.
Balance somehow. How badly were you hurt?
It was just...
That's not very characteristic of the way you have fought many fights.
Right, well, with James Toney, even though he's not that tall of a light heavyweight, he needs room to throw punches. He stepped around to the right and tried to get my left hook off right, but I didn't land my left hook like I wanted to.
To maintain your poise, not get excited, and so on. Is this because...
I would never be here, and I also give thanks to my boss man, Eddie Futch, Dale Torrance, and Hedgeman Lewis, my brother Tim Griffin. They took me over 2 years ago, taught me little things, ins and out, but just by nature, I'm just a very low-key, relaxed person. So, when I got hurt or he caught me at a good shot, I stay relaxed. I'm a man, I was ready for this. This is how superstars are born. They got to beat somebody who's up there. So this how you're born.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Large Minority, is this going to hurt James Toney's...
Especially at HBO, they recognize these things, and they allow me to talk about it. But just as anything other than a victory, he's got problems.
So you still see Toney as a future light heavyweight champion?
And the people at home saw some of the most splendid body punching, counter right hands that they've seen in the boxing ring. It was a wonderful...
Montell